Good evening. It is me. It's Rick. It's Digital Clinic. How are we doing? I am going to wait for some of you to arrive. It's 8 o'clock, bang on. I'm using some software, streaming software, so I'm only going to know if you're on if you comment and give me some likes and hearts, preferably all of that. So when you're on, let me know. Hi, guys. So brilliantly. Morning. Now, people saying good morning, they must be on the other side of the world. How we doing? Are we all good? What's new? Ready for a holiday? Just accidentally did a full live from my personal page. Yeah, I did the same thing. Trying to use some software. I did exactly the same thing. So don't worry. Good evening. I'm bringing up my comments on the mobile. I'm breaking my AE Digital Live virginity. Well, that's pretty cool. Welcome along. Welcome everybody. Who have we got? I'm going to give people a few minutes to get in. On the tube, we'll disconnect. Catch you on the other side. No worries. Need coffee? Yeah, I need coffee, Lisa. I've caught my my wife's chest infection, so luckily you can't catch that through Facebook Live. So no worries. Suki, how you doing? Good to see you. We got Josie, we got Jenny, we got Stevie, we got Erica, we got Alex, Lorraine, loads of people. Great shirt. Thanks, Stevie. I noticed that Richard was in quite a smart shirt, so I thought I'd better up my game. This is the shirt I wore today down to Marlow to see the guys at Allegan. And it's almost as leery as my birthday shirt the other day. So I think we got a decent amount of people in. So we'll make a start. Katerina, hi. Richard, hi. Richard Crawford Small is watching. Well, he's the boss, so we've got to behave. So the format for tonight is a bit more free-flowing. What I wanted to do was use a bit of streaming software so that if I need to, I can share my screen and show you some stuff. I'm not competitive at all. I am. And I've got awesome array of shirts. So bring it, RCS. Bring it on. So I'm going to do a bit of a free flow. We're going to do an Ask Me Anything. I've got a few questions that came in already on the thread, which is good. Even one as recently as 20 minutes ago, a sneaky last minute question. In fact, it's 2 questions from Jane Richardson. So I'm going to start. And if you're allergic to the kids, yeah, I think I might be. If you've got more questions, because we may not need the whole hour to answer the 3 that I've got, please chuck them in the comments, and we'll tackle them as we go. And I'm a font of most knowledge, but not all knowledge. So if I can't answer right now, I'll take it offline with you, and if it's a bit of a chunky one, we'll go through it individually. But just throw it at me. Let's see how we go. So first one we had was from Lisa down in New Zealand. Thank you for being on. Thank you for everything. And the question was, I want to get my social content into some sort of calendar and scheduled ready to make things more streamlined. I need to get a system in place. Any suggestions would be great. So there's lots of tools. I can only really recommend a couple. And the main one is a platform called Buffer. That would answer everything you've asked for, basically. It lets you schedule, you can preview what your calendar looks like of content. and it's really, really quite cool. So I thought it might be nice if I can get this thing to work and do a bit of a screen share, which I'm going to try and do imminently. I will show you what Buffer looks like, so you can get an idea of what it's capable of and how you might be able to use it. So I'm going to push this live. By the way, Lisa, this is probably the best GIF I've ever seen. Certainly the best GIF I've seen recently. I can't stop watching it. That little guy is just so cool. So let me show you what Buffer looks like. So Buffer is a scheduling tool, a social scheduling tool. You can have as many social accounts connected to it as you need. You can see a couple here. You can view it in kind of a list format. You can view it in a week format as well. So let me just show you what that looks like. So you can look across your week and see what you've got coming up. You can easily move things around. So if you want to drag something to a different time, you can do that as well. You can also view by month if you need to. So you can see here, I've got stuff that's grayed out, has already been published. Stuff that's upcoming is sat in here. And you can easily edit something that's already scheduled. You can change the copy. You can change the covers. You can change the imagery, the time it's going to go out, etc. What's really cool is on the mobile app, you get a really nice preview of what's coming up. So let me show you that on the mobile. So you can see all the stuff that's scheduled there. It tells you everything that's coming up, and you can move the stuff around, so you can design your calendar as you please, which is really nice touch. So Buffer is what I'd recommend. And I just want to show you how simple it is to schedule. Hey, Sarah Jane, hope you're well. Thanks for coming in. So if you've got your Buffer account up and running, you can actually post to multiple accounts at once. So I can post to a few things or to my own, and you can add your images by just uploading from your computer. So if I want to post a picture of the AED clinic logo, for example, I can do that. I can put my copy in here, and then I can customize it for each platform if I need to, because kind of Instagram language and Facebook language are slightly different. So you might want to customize it for each platform. Lisa, mind officially blown. Oh, we haven't even started yet. And you can, once you've customized it, you can then schedule it for your desired time and day. And you can build a bank of content that's months in advance. So you can see here that, you know, I've got stuff going out to for the Juvederm guys out until October. So you can get well ahead of yourself, and you can plan it. And when new content comes in or something happens and you need to move things around, it's literally drag and drop. So if I go into the weekly view, literally you can just drag things to a different day or to a different time. It's super, super cool. When in terms of actually building content ready to go in there, I use a platform called Canva, which is, again, is really, really smart. It's not professional design software, which means you don't need a degree to build the content, and you can do it really quickly. So I just want to show you an example. Quite a lot going on here. Just show you a couple of things on here. So take this random one. Dead easy. You can add text, you can pull images in, you can make little animations. Are the laptop and mobile apps synced? If you mean for Buffer, yes, they are. So exactly what happens on the laptop version of Buffer happens on the mobile app, and you can do all the same things. So again, in here, you can edit text, you can add new screens. So occupational person. And when you're ready to download it, what is this strange universe you live in? This is digital. This is the digital universe. Look, you can download it as animated as well. And you can preview the animation and all this good stuff. So I'd have a look at Canva. You can pull in pictures, you can add text, you can add all sorts of different elements, and you can build your bank of posts. So have a look at Canva. The Canva and Buffer, I think, are excellent weapons if you're looking to up your content generation and your scheduling. So hopefully that's pretty useful, Lisa, and you're going to have a look at those things. They're not free, but they're not too expensive either. So definitely have a look, and you can see that before too long, you can have quite a lot going on. So that's Canva and Buffer. So have a look at those. And if you've got questions, throw them in the throw them in the comments. But the question was scheduling social content and making things more streamlined. So I would definitely recommend Buffer and Canva. And as promised, you were first on the agenda. So we also had Melanie. Is Melanie on? Lisa, you're all over it. Excellent. That's good. And Melanie said, how do I even find somebody to build a website? There's a short answer to that. You asked me. But in all seriousness, what you really want to do is get a personal recommendation. Is it my internet, or is Rick fuzzy and not just his shirt? It could be me. It could be me because of the screen share. So let's we'll cut the screen share for a minute and see if that's better. That's clearer. That's good. So I think because of the screen share, it's a bit chunky on the live stream. So I'll only do that when it's necessary. But Melanie was asking, how do I even find somebody to build a website? And first of all, speak to me. But whoever you use, get a personal recommendation. Katerina, we'll come back to your thing about GIFs. That's a bit odd, that one. Lisa, you can personally recommend me. Well, thanks for that. Appreciated. But whoever you use to build a website, get a personal recommendation. Preferably get a couple of personal recommendations, because there's so many web designers, web developers. There are some that are really old and experienced, like me, who built his first website in 1994. And there are some that have sprung up and are doing it in their spare room or out of Costa Coffee. And there's nothing wrong with that. But they've only been doing it 5 minutes. So, and you don't know the difference when you're shopping around. So the only way you can really judge it is by using somebody that someone you know has had a good experience with. The hamster running the internet got tired. Yeah, it's definitely the screen sharing cocks it up. So get a personal recommendation. So if you know people that have had websites done and they're happy with them, and you like the website, and they had a good experience with the person building it, then that's a pretty good sign. So get a personal recommendation is the first thing, Melanie, and all of you. The other thing is, find some, even if they haven't had a perfect experience, speak to the people that have had their website done, speak to them in a bit more detail about suppliers, and Some are just dicks. Yes, Richard, you're probably right. I'm quite nice when I'm speaking about other web designers and agencies, but definitely some are. But that's just because they're humans, and some humans are dicks. That's just how it goes. What tends to happen with most sole trader freelancer web designers is that they just take too much on at the same time, and it's difficult to service too many people at once. So ideally find people that have a bit of a team around them, so you're not just waiting on one person. But again, even if a perfect experience hasn't been had, it's important to get someone that just went the extra mile to sort out any problems, didn't stop until the client was happy, and just generally were good to deal with. So personal recommendation is the most important thing. Yes, price comes into it, and that's going to depend where you're at with your business, what kind of stage you're at, what budgets you've got to invest in that kind of thing. And there's a whole range of ways of building a website. You can do it yourself these days with the web builders. So you've got Wix, you've got One-on-One. I've touched Wix. I've had to play with it when we've inherited sites to rebuild. So I can't really tell you about whether using Wix is a good experience. It's weird for me as a web developer to use it, but it's quite easy. It's drag and drop, and you can actually create some quite nice sites with it. One-on-One is a bit hit and miss, and they're fairly you can spot a one-on-one website, whereas Wix, the design options are a bit cooler and it's a bit more contemporary, and it was built using better technology mostly. The one thing that those web builders do is they bloat the code. They produce too much code, so sometimes the websites are a bit sluggish. But it's in terms of what you can produce yourself, Wix is probably the best one. So if you're literally just starting out and you haven't got 2 pennies to rub together, then Wix is probably a good way to go. A bit of me dies inside telling you that, but it's probably true. And some great ones. Yeah, Lisa, we're working on that. That one's old news. Don't worry about that. You still need to be able to design. Well, the thing is, Richard, you are correct. It's just a tool. So like PowerPoint, there's nothing wrong with PowerPoint, but God, are there some shit PowerPoint presentations out there? Because if you haven't got an eye for design, or you're not trained in design, then you're going to get a templated bodge job with the best will in the world. It's similar with Wix. So you can put something together, and they do help you with kind of out-of-the-box templates. But yeah, it's easy to make a dog's dinner of it. Absolutely. So yeah, that's kind of stage one. Beyond that, there is a kind of a mid-step between do-it-yourself and fully custom design, and that mid-step is work with a web developer but use a pre-existing framework or a theme. And there's lots to choose from. You pick one that's kind of got the right feel and style and layout, and then you rebrand it. If you're on some budget, then that's the way to go. Ultimately, when your business reaches a decent level and you can afford to invest a bit more, probably 5 to 10K will get you a custom website. And custom means you can design it however you want, and preferably you'll be guided on that by the web designers. You can go completely nuts with the design. You can make it absolutely your dream website. You can have all the functionality you want because it's custom. But it doesn't come cheap, because you're working with hopefully professionals, experts. They're experienced, and a lot of work goes into building a website from scratch. So Sarah Jane's just saying, investment in a good website is worth every penny. It's your shop window and needs to set you apart. Yes. We always used to talk about it being your shop window. But funnily enough, that analogy is probably going to become less relevant because there's not many shop windows left, sadly, because the high streets are all disappearing. But yeah, absolutely. It is, when you're at the right level, it's absolutely the right thing to invest in and build something custom. All those other stages are correct and relevant at a certain point in your business life. But they all come with compromise. They all come with risks. So, for example, with Wix, you're kind of stuck there to a point because they host it, they look after the domain. You're kind of stuck with it and stuck with the limitations of it. Even if you go with a web designer but use a framework, there are some compromises there too. So you can still make it look as per your branding, but sometimes you're a bit limited with what it can do. And sometimes those frameworks contain plugins that may not get updated by the original developer, which again can limit your ability to grow the website with your business. So ultimately, as soon as you can, you want to be getting to the point where you can create a custom site, really. So those are the kind of options that you get. You asked an interesting side question, which was how essential is a website? And again, that's it depends what stage you're at, really. I'm possibly biased, but also have been in business for 20 years, never really had a proper job, unless you count looking after the alcohol at Sainsbury's and pushing the trolleys. So I have been in business a long time. So although I'm a web designer and run a digital agency, I do understand when a website is critical and when it isn't. So when it's not critical is when you're in those very early stages. You haven't even got a business card printed yet, and you're just starting to go out meeting people. I would say these days, if you're at that stage, it's far quicker and easier to get a social profile together and direct people to that to begin with, in those very early stages. And Richard will be talking, those of you that are in club and doing Launchpad and that have seen Richard speak, he will be guiding you through those early stages and also telling you a similar thing, I'm sure, which would be to focus on the problems that you solve for people, your elevator pitch, getting those early sales in, making sure that you're retaining clients. Those are obviously the most important parts of getting the business up and running. And it's when it starts to roll and people are then hearing about you, they're meeting you, or you're meeting more people, and they start to reference you. Richard calls it FBIing you. When they come and do that, and they look you up, they're going to go straight to Google, and they're going to either find or not find your website. Ideally, they find your website because if you've got one and it's well search optimized, it will be the first thing that comes up, usually, and it gives you that opportunity to represent yourself and your business to that person when you're not there. So ideally, your website has a video on it. So just something simple like this, and I can speak straight to you and go, "Hey guys, welcome to Rick O'Neill Limited. I'm awesome at this, that, and the other. Thanks for coming. Have a look around. Down here we got this. Down here we got that. Don't forget to have a look at that. If you've got any questions, drop us a message in here." So make a cool welcome video, and that website becomes you when you're not there. So it's pretty much, I'd say, critical once things get rolling. Let me look at some of your comments. So many new entrepreneurs delay too long and spend loads on websites when they have no money. Yeah, that's a fair point. I'm a year in, business is coming in through social media, but a website will help me look at conversations and all the business stuff. Yeah, absolutely. not exclusively startup, social circle, friends, family. So yeah, first thing, get the sales rolling in, get the service nailed, get the strategy right. Yes, some people are not on social, as Sarah Jane says, which is absolutely right. They're not all on social. Most, more are than ever. But that website is your reference point. When people look you up, even if they've been recommended to you, they're going to hit Google. And Richard was talking earlier, and he challenged some guys to become Google famous and see how they get on with that. See how many pieces of content appear under your name. The easiest way to control what appears for you is to have an optimized website around your name, your business name, in your area, your niche market, your local area, and I'd recommend getting it up and running quick. So how essential is it? I'd say pretty essential. I didn't think it was necessary, but I see the benefit in being Googleable, i.e. aesthetics in Plymouth. Are there any other options? Sort of. So you can also be Googleable without a website, through your social activity, and also through what you put on YouTube. So I was talking to somebody earlier within the group who's got a bunch of videos on their Facebook business page, wanted to know what else can they do with them. And the obvious thing is get them onto a YouTube channel, keyword optimize each video. Keyword optimize meaning when you add your video to YouTube say, what's this video called and what's the description of it? That's your chance to use keywords like aesthetics in Plymouth in some of your videos, because YouTube's a very popular platform. Those videos will come up when people Google it. So if you don't have a website or don't feel you're ready to have one or don't want one yet, there's other ways of being Googleable, which is a phrase I have nicked from Melanie Smith. Googleable. Maybe you've touched on this already. Is it a bad thing to do a live from your personal Facebook page as Stevie Potter did? I have three people who have seen my Facebook business page. If I do a live from my business account, will it only post to 3 people, including you, Rick? Yeah, it's better to do it from a personal page. It's even better to do it in a group. So the 3 people that have seen your business page, if you can persuade them to come and join a group instead of a page, then that live that you do will be even more powerful, because it comes from you personally, but also in a group, because Facebook loves groups and Facebook loves Facebook Live. Hence why we're doing this stuff and why we keep telling you to do it. Everyone in the group gets notified. So all 3 people will jump straight onto your live. And it'll be your personal name in your wicked little group, and happy days. So yes, far better than doing it on a business page. The reach of business pages is lower usually, but you can train them. So if you start doing lives on a business page, it will get used to you, and people will get notified, and people will come back. But certainly, it's easier to get going within a group and doing a personal video that way. How do I set up a group? That's dead easy. So if you go to any group, let me see if I can do another screen share and I'll show you. It's super easy. Facebook make it pretty easy. Let me see if I can share. I just want to show you something quickly. So you see here, we're in Aesthetic Entrepreneurs Digital. See this blue button here? It says create group. If I click it, it walks me through the process. So there's probably another session to actually train you on that, but that's how easy it is to get started. So group and live equals corn. Yes, fire up the hamsters. So anyway, that's how easy it is to start a group. So definitely recommend doing that. when Richard talks about implementing and just getting shit done, that's how easy it can be to get started. It's one blue button, create group, and the rest is history. So definitely get on that, and have both your business page and your community. You can signal the live in your personal Facebook and direct people to your business page. Yeah, you can. So once you've got your Facebook Live up and running, you can share it to multiple places. So people are joining you from multiple sources. It's a good tactic, actually. Okay, I'm going back to one of the questions on the original thread, and then I'm going to open it up to comments. So Jane Richardson asked, and these are big questions. So we'll give it some beans, and then we'll see how far we get. The first one was, are Google ads a good return on investment? Massive question. I'm going to talk about it. And the second one was, how much should I be spending on SEO? Which again is a big question. So the first one, are Google ads a good ROI? Yes, I think they are a good ROI, but it takes testing and it takes patience. So if you start down the route of Google ads, be prepared to spend a bit and be prepared to be patient. You need, on any kind of ad campaign, at least 4 to 8 weeks worth of data before you know really whether it's going to work for you or not, and then you can build on it. But when you're doing Google ads, you need to be documenting and testing everything you do. So you need to document the imagery that you use and how it performs, whether it's a banner ads or whether you're just using straight copy ads on Google. It's the same applies to Facebook ads, but the question was about Google ads. You need to be documenting the copy you use in the headings, the keywords that you target, the geographic locations that you target. Document everything, because the smallest little tweaks can make big differences to the performance of your Google ads. So it really does take a lot of organization and testing to get a good ROI from Google ads. But you can get to the point where you are confident about, for every pound in, you'll get £1.20 back. That's just a figure of speech. I'm not guaranteeing that, but you can reach that kind of point where you know so categorically that your targeting and the formatting and the keywords and all the elements of your Google ads are so good and so well tested that you know the rough conversion of money spent to money made. That's kind of the nirvana, and that takes a good while. But to answer the question, is it a good ROI? Yes, but be prepared to invest time and effort and budget into getting to that point. It's very easy to jump onto Google AdWords, fire up an account, set up some ads, pump in what you reckon are probably the keywords, pump in what you reckon is a good advert, burn a load of money, not get the results you wanted, and then give up and tell everyone that Google ads don't work. You're right. If that's your approach, it will never work for you. It's a longer game. You have to invest the time and the money to get it up and running. And if you can, ideally use a professional pay-per-click expert. It's not 100% our bag, but I can advise. We've done a lot of Facebook campaigns, and we've done some Google campaigns, and some decent budget ones. So for a wood flooring company, once we did run their Google ads, and they were spending 40-50 grand a month on the Google ads. So that was a fairly chunky campaign. And I do consult on a couple of others that spend maybe 15-20 grand a month. But I'm not suggesting that's what you have to spend, by the way. But I'm just saying, if you need help with Google ads, I've got a decent amount of experience. But regardless, find someone that's got good experience with it if you can. Usually the people that just do pay-per-click work on a percentage of your click spend as their fee. So they are probably a good option if you can afford it. If you're going the DIY route, you really do need to think carefully about documenting everything and testing. So hopefully that answers the ROI question, but there's no definitive yes or no to that. And the other part of the question was, are Google, no, it wasn't. It was, how much should I be spending on SEO? And how much should I be spending on SEO is an interesting question. And I wanted to say something else before answering it. And that is, it's a common misconception with SEO is that at your level that you need to be doing it every month. You actually don't. The reason that came about, and I'm blowing apart the web and SEO industry a bit, whistleblowing a little bit. The main reason that, and I'm talking about at most of your level, for bigger companies that absolutely depend, like big e-commerce websites or big businesses that really depend on constant growth just on their website inquiries, you do have to do SEO constantly. But at most of the level that you guys are at, you do not need somebody working on your SEO every single month. You don't. If you do a really good job of the SEO the first time it's done, then at the most, what you need is to come back and review it every 3 or 4 months. It needs time to settle in. Google needs time to index it, and it doesn't need to be done on a rolling basis. And as I say, the whistleblowing part of that is the reason very small businesses were started getting persuaded to sign up for monthly SEO contracts, is because agencies wanted to create a productized service where they could set up a direct debit. They wanted to be billing monthly and get away from purely project work. And that's how that really started at the small business end. And as I say, when you are much bigger, so if some of you guys end up with multiple locations or, your own marketing teams, then you do need to work on SEO constantly every month and get those marginal gains all the time. But the level that most of you are at now, you shouldn't be spending money per month on SEO. And I probably should say SEO, search engine optimization, if you weren't sure, which means getting your website into such a state that it can be found on page 1 of Google for all the important things to you. It's not magic and it's not a dark art. It is just really hard work. And there's probably 300 or 400 things that need to be checked off of a big list to get a website really well SEO'd. And you can do it in one sprint when you first launch a website, or when you inherit a website, or if you come to us with a website, we do an audit of it, and then we would check through and check off these 300 to 400 things. And they include things like how fast the website runs, because Google loves fast websites. Ideally, if it does everything in less than a couple of seconds when you first open it, Google likes that, and it will prioritize websites that are fast, because Google wants to give its customers, so anytime somebody Googles something, that's a Google customer. Google wants to give its customers websites that are relevant, that are fast, so they give a really good experience, and that are credible and authoritative. So again, all your SEO work is about giving Google what it wants and Google's customers getting what they want. So write content that's relevant, be authoritative by getting referenced from other websites. Make sure your website runs really quickly so that Google loves it. Make sure it works really nicely on a mobile, because Google will prioritize that too. And 100, 200, 300 other things that have to be checked off to make a really good job of the SEO. Melanie Smith has joined, and we are talking about Melanie Smith's questions. So you'll have to watch back, Melanie, because we covered them. But fear not, I did answer your questions about finding someone to build a website and how essential it is and all of those good things. So please watch back because we did answer your question. But SEO, the main point I want to make is don't get persuaded to sign up for a monthly direct debit for SEO. It's not necessary at the level that you're at. What is necessary is get some sort of audit done by someone who knows what they're doing to tell you exactly what's okay, what's not so okay, what's critical, and then get a quote to actually implement all of that stuff in one go, in one sprint. And at most, if you set up some reporting and tracking around that to see after that work was done, did the traffic increase? Did your position on page 1 of Google increase? Did the inquiries go up? Give yourself 3 or 4 months, but the measures in place to check that. And then if it worked, great, do more of it. If it didn't, leave it longer. Don't touch it again for a while. But don't get persuaded to set up monthly direct debits for SEO until you are much bigger. I'd probably actually say if you're not in e-commerce, because that's different, it's much more competitive. In the business you guys are in, most of you, I'd say until you get anywhere near 7 figures, you don't need to be having somebody working on the SEO every month. That's my 2 pennies on that one. So we've been through the questions on the thread. Hey Marie, welcome. You must have just finished work, I guess. Welcome along. You'll have to catch up. We've covered lots of ground. So I'm now opening it to you guys to throw into the comments your questions, anything digital. Hey, throw in your questions, and we'll tackle them in the last 10-12 minutes of the call. Feel free to make comments about the shirt. I'm quite proud of this one. Maria, it's your birthday. Shall I invite everyone onto the video and sing you happy birthday? I'll do it. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Marie. Thanks for coming on Facebook Live. How was that? Are you glad you came on now? So give me your questions, guys. Who's got a burning digital question or anything that we've covered? Was anything not clear? Did I go too fast? Did I go too slow? You are special, Marie. You are. Did I use any tech speak or jargon that you want breaking down? Let me know. Oh dear, keep to it, Rick. What's quite funny is that because I'm using the streaming software, there's about a 10 to 15 second delay. So I finished singing ages ago, but Richard's only just popped up telling me to stop, which is quite funny. Oh, the GIF thing. Yeah. So Katerina, tell me again in the comments in a minute, the GIF thing, was that happening on the Facebook app on your phone or was it on a laptop? Let me know and we'll come back to that. Maria, how do I embed a pixel on my website? So I think you're probably talking about a Facebook pixel. So when you're going through the process of setting up an ad, it will give you the option of using an existing pixel or creating a new pixel. And if you create a new one, it gives you a bunch of code. It's about 8 or 9 lines, and there's a button for you to copy it. That has to be placed into every page on your website that you want to track. And I probably need to do a bit of a tutorial separately to this live, but it is dead easy. It's probably a 3 or 4 step process to get the Facebook pixel embedded into the site. And I can show you how to do it. If you drop me a PM, a direct message, so that I don't forget, I'll show you how to do it. It's dead easy. So what else have we got? Richard, you said KPI. What's that? Key performance indicator. That's what that means. So a key performance indicator might be how many leads you're getting, or how much traffic you're getting. It's the measurements that matter to you. That's your KPI. Katerina, yes. Other people said they can't see their gifts they've posted either. So I was going to say, if it's on the app, the first thing to do is to update the app, because it could just be a connection thing, or the app having a glitch within it. But if not, send into the comments or to me by message a link to that post where the gifts are missing, so I can have a look at it, because it might be a setting on the post itself, which might need tweaking. Maybe a privacy setting or a security setting which you're not sure about or you didn't know existed. So send me a link in a direct message later to that post so I can have a look. What else have we got here? Balsam, how do you feel about business page on LinkedIn? Will that be a viable option? So LinkedIn, it's an interesting one for you guys, because I would have thought not many of your demographic are on LinkedIn, or put it another way, are expecting to see you on LinkedIn. So I think it could work in some cases. LinkedIn groups used to be good. They're nowhere near as good as Facebook groups. I think if you had a particular thing to say about a particular job function or a particular market, so let's say, for a random example, you are out there offering Botox to busy executives, then you could target them via LinkedIn, and it might be worth having some sort of presence there. If nothing else, it's worth having a profile there to help you become Google famous, because LinkedIn, again, is a huge platform. Content you post there, if it's relevant to what you do, if it's got the right keywords, it will appear in search around those terms and around your business name. So LinkedIn's an interesting one. It's probably more for trade for you guys, so sort of networking or finding partners, or one day partnering up with some sort of private equity firm who are going to buy your massive franchise of aesthetic clinics for $1 billion, I hope, for all of you. But I would say be careful how much time you invest in it. And if you've got specific desire or ideas about LinkedIn, let's chat about it, because there might be other ways to achieve what you're trying to do, or LinkedIn could work. But LinkedIn's a slightly different beast, and to do well on LinkedIn, it takes a bit more effort, and you've got to be super targeted with how you do it and who you go after. So hopefully that helps, but give me a shout. Anyway, you promised me a bear hug at CCR, so we'll talk about it then. What else we got? What code is it? CSS. I can do CSS. It's just, yeah, it's a little bit of JavaScript, the Facebook pixel, but you don't have to do anything with it. You just copy it and you drop it into the right place, and it shows you exactly where to put it, usually in the footer area of your Facebook, into your website code before the closing head tag, if you're interested. Let me write this again off the tube. How do you feel about business page on LinkedIn? Hopefully I've answered that, but happy to chat about it again. LinkedIn are your clients there? Well, exactly right. You'll need to join my group. I use LinkedIn to target suppliers and manufacturers, not HCPs. It's on my list, but we're growing well on Facebook. Again, definitely you need a personal LinkedIn profile, and that needs to be well updated, well optimized, because that's a very important part of your digital footprint. But in terms of actually making the extra investment into a LinkedIn business page or a discussion group on LinkedIn, or soon you will be able to go live on LinkedIn, because they're about 900 years behind Facebook. It's not actually ready yet, and it's owned by Microsoft, so when it is ready it will probably be a bit shit, but eventually you'll be able to go live on LinkedIn. That will make it more interesting, I think, for the same reasons that Facebook Live is very interesting. So don't rule out LinkedIn. Definitely get your personal profile sorted, but business pages and groups, let's talk about it, because it really depends on what you're hoping to achieve there. Let's have a look. You will get a massive bearist bear hug. Well, I'm looking forward to that, and slightly terrified, but I'm open to it, so I'm looking forward to that. Hey Stevie, hey Dimitri. Fashionably late, I would say. Stevie and Dimitri is 8:52. And you missed me singing happy birthday to Marie. Basm's got a personal one, have written articles on it. Yeah, the LinkedIn articles, again, they used to be dynamite. The reach on LinkedIn articles used to be amazing, but now it's pathetic, because they tried to follow Facebook's path in squashing organic reach to force people to pay to promote things, but it's a really big mistake, I think. And they've missed a trick, because the LinkedIn articles used to be absolutely dynamite. Some of the first ones I wrote had massive reach. Thousands and thousands of people saw my articles. The ones I've written more recently, they barely get any reach at all. And there's not much difference in quality, to be honest. What else we got? Pinterest. Good question. I think actually Pinterest is quite interesting for you guys. We'll do another session on Pinterest. I'll put it on the list, because actually there's a lot of, if you go onto Pinterest, there's a lot of before and after type galleries. There's lots of research happens there by people that are aesthetically curious. So they will go on there looking for before and afters for fillers, or Botox results, or hydrofacial pictures, that kind of stuff. So you want to really be there to catch that traffic and those people that are considering and that are curious. So I think Pinterest is interesting. So yeah, we'll come back to that. Pinterest, I think, could be an interesting one for all of us to go get on board with, and bring you some extra eyes on your business. So let's park that one. I'll put it on my list. I'm writing it now. Pinterest. What else we got, guys? So you've got 5 minutes. Who's going to throw me one or two questions? What have we got up there? What about Snapchat, Vine, Twitter, TikTok? Ugh, don't start about TikTok. Just don't. Richard went on TikTok. I told him not to. He lost a day of his life, which he'll never get back again. Maybe one day when TikTok is a bit more mature and commercial, it'll be worth you investing your time, but it's not. Snapchat, again, unless you're Lady Gaga, don't bother. Vine, quite interesting. But again, I think you'd just end up losing time. It's better to focus on a platform that's definitely working in your space, and really you're on it, and it's the one next door, Instagram. So I would say focus, and yeah, leave TikTok alone. What else we got? Marie, I find Medium better than Tumblr. Yeah, I love Medium. Medium's a fantastic blogging platform, really good for SEO as well. Download Medium. What about TikTok? So addictive. Yeah, but it's a waste of time. It's not going to help you with your business, so don't bother. But I'm a millennial. I can't help it. People need to stop banging on about being millennial. It covers a nearly 30-year period. It's not an excuse. Get focused. Pack it in. Stop mucking about with TikTok. Lisa, can you clone me or add another 3 hours to the day, please? Yes, I can clone you. I'll send you a message about it. But Buffer and Canva will give you back a few hours. No problem. Automation, that's the secret. As you guys start getting busier, I'm going to start doing more about automation. Automation is one of my passions. Behind my family, martial arts, and other more interesting things, automation is one of my passions. And I love a good onboarding process to be automated. And I love a bit of an aftercare process to be automated. You can automate your social content going out. And every time you do that, you're doing two things at once, which are awesome. You're making your customer experience more consistent and slick, and you don't have to remember to do it. And you're also saving time, and time is money, so you're increasing your profit. So automation is awesome. Suki, I'm trying to target entrepreneurs. Is LinkedIn a good choice? Is there ways to target clients there? Entrepreneurs, that's an interesting one. Yes, there's lots of entrepreneurs on LinkedIn. There's also lots of entrepreneurs on Facebook. You can't really target by the phrase entrepreneur because you're going to get people that have written entrepreneur in their LinkedIn profile. And if they've done that, they're probably not an entrepreneur. So that would be a difficult thing to target. But we'll talk about that. Now you're talking. Do you teach martial arts? I am an assistant instructor. I'm a first degree black belt in ITF Taekwondo. You want to pay me to teach you Taekwondo? Happily. I'll teach you everything I know. It won't take long. Let me show you some stuff. I am the British champion of destruction in Taekwondo. I am silver in sparring in Taekwondo. In my club for Taekwondo, I was student of the year out of 1,500 students. And as I say, I became a black belt last year. I'll happily teach you some stuff. Do the automation with me. Geez, Kylie is everywhere. Yeah, do the automation. Focus, girls. He's a Taekwondo black belt. Yes, he is. Teach me. Okay, I will. We have to start with the basics. Flexibility, fitness. Got to get those done first. I only know CNR, no sports fighting. I shall be your perfect wax on, wax off. Yeah, that's how everybody learns from a strange old caretaker man who makes you wash his cars and paints his fences. Yeah, that takes me back. Emma, you're a Scouser. Well, I can't really help that. GSD4 Taekwondo lessons. Yeah, I'm up for that. You do have in ITF Taekwondo, you have to do something weird. You have to do breath control. So General Choi, who this is going way off digital topic, but anyway, it's 9 o'clock. We'll have a few minutes of random Taekwondo chat. General Choi was the founder of Taekwondo. Taekwondo is not an ancient art. It was created in the 50s in the Korean army as their form of hand-to-hand combat. And General Choi was this guy, tiny guy, but absolutely lethal, who came up with it. And he created two methods of generating more power than any other martial art. One is the sine wave, so dropping your knees, coming up and then dropping down to deliver power. That's the sine wave. That's one way. And the other one was breath control, which is when you're about to destroy something. So in Taekwondo, we are being trained to deliver power through our enemy. Muscle, sinew, bone, concrete, doesn't matter what it is, we're going to go through it. And the way to do that is with this breath control. And it comes from your gut and fires out of your mouth. So when you're getting ready to punch, you relax, 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 and you strike, and you let the breath out from your gut and out through your mouth quickly. My wife thinks it's hilarious and ridiculous because when you're doing your patterns in Taekwondo, you have to do this breath control and you sound like a bit of a twat. You're like this. And you look a bit stupid and you sound a bit stupid, but you can deliver about 20-30% more power than if you just punch. So yeah, we'll do some Taekwondo lessons at GSD 4. No problem. Suki, thanks for being here. See you later. So any other comments, guys, before we wrap for this evening? Ooh, like when I breathe out hard when I shove a shield against a cell hatch or someone trying to kick my head in. Wow, it's another story. Her name was Yoshimi. She was a black belt in karate. Blimey, where's the karaoke machine? I love it. I have a list of breath controls. Yes, absolutely. So I think I'm going to wrap there, guys. Thank you very much. Really enjoyed tonight. Hopefully it was a useful session for you guys. I really want to understand from all of you the value that you're getting from this group. So please tell me in the comments, send me a message. If you're loving the group, post that into the group on the page. Tell all your friends in the aesthetic market because we want to keep it relevant. And tell Richard. But let us know. I'm keen to get feedback. We're a few weeks in. I'm giving it my all. I want to know the value that you're getting, and any ideas that you've got for how it's structured and the things that we're doing in here. But other than that, thanks, buddy. Thanks, Richard. Thanks, Rick. Missed the beginning. We'll go back and watch. Yeah, good idea. So yeah, please give us your feedback. Send me any questions as usual, and I'll do my best for you guys. I'm here to help you all. I want you all to show up at my funeral. That's my attitude to all of you. So, and I want you to all to kick ass, and I want you all digitally sorted. That's what we're here to do. All right, guys, I'm going to shoot. Hope you've all enjoyed, and I'll see you in the group very soon.